All right, hello everybody, good evening, and welcome into a Friday edition of KC Sports Tonight. I am Mark Poulose, joined by the great Gabe Swartz as we get ready for a big weekend of sports here in Kansas City. Now, Gabe, we have a bunch of topics to talk about today, but it's just been an unbelievable week here in Kansas City with the World Cup. The last couple of weeks, it's really kind of exceeded all my expectations seeing what's going on. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that in general, the World Cup has been a great showcase. It's been a good push and pull, though, I think, of people from international countries coming to the United States and getting to experience everything that makes America awesome. And at the same time, yesterday in Kansas City was a great example of us getting to experience and getting to see one of the great traditions of European soccer in the Netherlands. And that I saw from just my own social media feed several people from Kansas City who were just like, I just wanted to go participate. So they went, and they have no Dutch background, no crazy soccer following history. They're just from Kansas City, knew something crazy was going down, and said, let's get involved. Let's go check it out. And I think that's awesome.
It certainly was unbelievable. We'll get to that later in the show. But sticking on the soccer theme, tomorrow out at Kansas City Stadium, we have our final group stage match here in Kansas City. Now, obviously, after tomorrow, we'll have two knockout stage games, one in the round of 32 and then one in the quarterfinals, which is the final 8. But tomorrow, Austria and Algeria squaring off. Both teams tied right now in the group, I believe, with one win and one draw. Is that correct? Are there
one win each? They both beat Jordan. They both lost to Argentina.
Okay, so 1-0-1. So that's correct. They both have 3 points in the group. But Gabe, what's very interesting about this match is that it might not benefit either team to win. You wrote a tremendous web article on our website, kctv5.com, and actually draws some parallels to a historical matchup. So tomorrow kind of set the stage. Why is it that neither it's a possibility that neither Algeria or Austria wants to win tomorrow's match?
So I think earlier this week, the Wall Street Journal put out a story of, could we see the disgrace of Kansas City? And some people who didn't read beyond the headline thought, oh, is this just the coastal elites in New York taking a crap on Kansas City,
taking a shot on us in flyover country?
That was not what was going down. They were actually just evaluating whether we're going to get a competitive soccer match tomorrow night at Arrowhead Stadium or Kansas City Stadium, as FIFA wants us to call it.
Yeah, Gabe, you better watch it, or else they'll revoke your credentials for FanFest.
There we go. So tomorrow night at 9 p.m., the Argentina-Jordan game means nothing aside from a new group of people in Dallas getting a chance to maybe watch Lionel Messi play. We'll see if he plays or how long he plays for. Algeria and Austria will play, and because of the new format, under the old format, 32 teams, 16 advance, this would be a game where somebody has to win, or Austria, which has the better goal differential, if they had tied and both had 4 points, Austria would advance with a tie or a win. Algeria would need an outright win. That is not the case anymore, because with the 48-team tournament and with the round of 32 being introduced, the 8 best third-place teams, so half of the best third-place teams, will still advance. So because tomorrow night is the final games of the group stage, all of the other groups, Group J is the final group, this will be these two matches, the one that's going on in Dallas between Argentina and Jordan and the one that's going on in Kansas City, will be the final ones. So these two teams will go into tomorrow night knowing what they need to advance. And you may say, okay, well, wouldn't you rather be second place than third place? That is what brings into debate or scrutiny or question the competitiveness of this match, because if tonight Spain locks up Group H, the winner of Group H, Spain is the third-ranked team in the world according to FIFA's rankings, the winner of Group H would play the second-place team in Group J. whereas the third place team would play someone. I believe they'd play Switzerland, the winner of Group B.
Yeah, I think it's Switzerland or Egypt.
Yeah.
So, Gabe, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's whoever wins tomorrow has an extremely high likelihood of taking on Spain, who's the third-ranked team in the world, and whoever loses tomorrow has a great chance to take on either Egypt, who is ranked near the 30s, or Switzerland, who also is not nearly as good as Spain. So it seems it'd be better to finish in third than in second in the group.
It would seem. Now, tonight at 7, Spain plays Uruguay, and Spain could not win that group. So if that ends up taking place, if Uruguay beats them and Spain does not win Group H, suddenly tomorrow night's game becomes winner plays whoever wins Group H, and that would be a team that you would probably rather play than Spain. But if Spain has locked up winning Group H, both of these teams will come into tomorrow night knowing that, hey, if we win this match, we are playing Spain. What transpired in the press conferences today was both coaches insinuating that, no, we would not do that. And I guess what brings into greater question is the irony of the 1982 situation of the disgrace of Gijón in Spain, where
this is where the disgrace of Kansas City name came from. Yes,
exactly.
So it wasn't a shot at us. It was actually a historically significant event.
Yes, from 44 years ago, West Germany played Austria. Both teams knew that if West Germany won by 1 or 2 goals, both teams would advance. And so a goal was scored in the 10th minute of that match, and basically it just became a nice friendly game of pass the ball around and do nothing else. The last shot on goal in that match came in the 54th minute. I was reading historical articles today about it, and fans were in the crowd whistling every time in disdain whenever the ball was passed sideways or backwards. And there were some white handkerchiefs being waved in the crowd because Algerian fans knew that both of these teams were good with the end result, and Algeria is the team who finished in third place as a result. So there would be a special level of irony, I guess, that both of these teams are involved, and that it could be a repeat situation. And maybe if that is to happen, and if we do end up with a largely uncompetitive game tomorrow night that ends in just a tie, and in that, if it ends in a 0-0 tie where neither team really attempts very many shots, will it cause FIFA to change some rules? Because that game 44 years ago did cause FIFA to change rules. Previously, they didn't have the final games of the group stage being played simultaneously. That's a thing that happens now in FIFA. It happens in the Euros. It happens in the UEFA Champions League. It happens all across soccer. So it inspired some change, and we'll see if tomorrow night happens as well. It could all be nothing. It could all be nothing if Spain doesn't win their group tonight, because that would greatly change the motivation for coming in second in the group. But it is an interesting subplot for the final group stage matches of the World Cup before we get to the knockout stage.
Yeah, to me, this is almost a reality is stranger than fiction situation, because like we talk about, this game from 1982, the disgrace of Gijón, and it involved, like, who are the teams involved there? There's West Germany, there's Austria, and Algeria. And it's just like, okay, like that was a situation where West Germany and Austria, maybe not, probably decided that, okay, after Germany went up, that they're going to have that result kind of carry on so both teams would advance. And then of all the situations to arise with the first 48-team World Cup, they've kind of devised this whole new method where this never happens. And then guess who are 2 teams involved in this exact situation? It's Austria and Algeria again. Time is a flat circle, apparently. None of this makes any sense, but I like what you said there, Gabe. So right now we actually have both Neil Jones. He attended both the press conferences for Austria and Algeria. Now, these head coaches, they do speak a little bit of English, but they mostly spoke in their native tongue, spoke via translator. In those press conferences, both coaches basically came out and said, how can we play for a draw? How can we play to not win the game? Like, they're like, this is the World Cup. Like, sports are not played by like kind of robots or automatons, whatever you want to call them. Like they're played by human beings who have goals, who have ambitions, who have desires, and to get the most out of yourself, you often have to say like, we want to win this game. Like if a coach told their team, hey guys, we're going to play for a draw, that's a recipe to get your butt beat. Yeah. So I don't think any of these coaches are going into that game, but it's very interesting to see that. So Neil Jones had a great story in our 5 p.m. He's going to have another great story in our 6 p.m. news coming up, touching on both pressers, and then we also have more coverage in our 6 p.m. sports, as well as tonight at 10 as sports director Marlia Campbell is going out to Austria training, as we will get our first look at them as they prepare for a big match here in Kansas City. So that's coming up tomorrow, 9 p.m. kickoff out at Arrowhead Stadium. Stick with us here on KCTV5 because we are covering that match every step of the way, from our early evening shows all the way on through the night. One note, though, I do want to tell you guys, tomorrow night over the air, our 10:35 sports show, KC Sports Tonight, we will not have that tomorrow on a match day. That will come back on Sunday, as we're all going to be out and about on the town capturing the moment as it happens. So for the best coverage you're going to find out there on tomorrow's World Cup match, stick with us here on KCTV5. We have a huge day planned for you. It's been so much fun to cover this World Cup, and we are going to have a big, big day tomorrow. But now we have about 18 minutes, 3 more topics we're going to talk about. Gabe, it was last Friday, I think Kansas City's sports fans kind of collectively held their breath because I'm just going to call it. He's our local Iron Man. He wants to play all 162 every single year. Now, does he play 162? No, he might play 155, but his name is Bobby Witt Jr., and he is by far the best player on the Kansas City Royals. Last week, there was a really emergency situation late in the, I think it was in the 5th inning against the St. Louis Cardinals. Maybe it was on Thursday.
It was Thursday.
It was Thursday.
Thursday.
So, see, I had to correct myself. Gabe, glad you're here. KCTV5 fact check. But Bobby Witt Jr. played deep in the hole at short, ranges to his right, kind of dives down, fields the ball. He's on his knees. He's trying to get up and throw, and the ball just never left his hand because he was in such immense pain. Now, Bobby originally stayed in the game. I think the Royals maybe got one more out, and then he was due up to bat in the next inning. He walks into the dugout, really limped down the stairs, and you can kind of see it on his face, like, hey, guy, Bobby Witt Jr. never wants to come out of the game. Bobby Witt Jr. wants to play all 162 games every year, and the fact that he had to leave the game, especially when he was due to hit in that inning, kind of seemed that it was a big injury. So Bobby, I believe, missed 6 total games with a grade 1 MCL strain. I think the good news here was that the Royals never placed him on the injured list, so it wasn't a situation that they thought was horrible. Like, it was a situation apparently maybe it just needed rest. Tonight, Bobby back in the lineup as the Royals start a 3-game set at the Chicago White Sox, but he's not playing in the field. They're kind of easing him back into it. He's going to be the designated hitter. Gabe, this is a situation I think Royals fans really need to monitor. I know last week manager Matt Quattrero came out and said that they didn't think it was a surgical thing, but he also said that Bobby Witt Jr. might need to play in a brace. Now, to me, if Bobby Witt Jr. is going to have to play in a brace, this is a serious situation. He's the most important player on the team. He's the most important person in the whole Royals organization. This is something I would take extremely, extremely cautiously. But what are your kind of thoughts? Bobby, he doesn't want to come out. I'm sure he's pushing to get back in the lineup, and he's back tonight, but DHing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it is – I hate to say this, but the fact of the matter is –
But you're going to say it anyway?
But I do – I'm going to say it anyways. The Royals have lost the benefit of the doubt when it comes to what they say about injuries and me trusting them being the best case scenario, because we have seen it time and time again. And at this point, they are borderline the boy who cried wolf when it comes, and not in the, oh, this is bad and it's actually okay. It's actually, they've very frequently said, oh, this is fine, and then it has not been fine. We've seen Cole Reagans get injured and
yeah,
take
no,
some
when
time
that first
off.
happened, they did not think it was a big deal. You are correct.
And they said, all right, he's not going to throw for a little bit. We'll put him on the IL, and then we'll ramp him back up, and we should be fine. And he had a setback. Chris Bubich got injured, missed time, put on the IL, goes down to AAA Omaha, has a setback.
Gets rocked.
And gets crushed. And they said, okay, he didn't respond well, and he needs more time. now he has another rehab assignment in Omaha, but that was another setback. Michael Garcia hurt his hamstring. They didn't want to put him on the injured list. They rested him for a couple days. They put him in the lineup and as a pinch hitter at times. They DH'd him a day or two, and then he continued to play. And then another injury comes through with his hand, and you were there when Matt Quatrero said he just needs a little bit more rest. It doesn't feel good when he hits foul balls, but when he makes good contact, it's fine. Now he lands on the IL because that injury did not progress well and did not respond the way that they thought so. So all of those things happening, you look at AAA, Ryan Bergert has gotten injured with his arm. Alec Marsh has not been able, has had setback after setback for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
When
did he last pitch? 2024?
Yeah.
I mean, dead serious.
Yeah. That was the last time that he pitched was 2024. So all of those things happen. And then the best player in the franchise, the best player in the American League, the leader in WAR for the Royals, has knee soreness in Minnesota in early June.
Had to leave a game.
And they said, okay, he just needed a little bit of rest. And then it got worse. And so this is not, the first thing that happened was the grade 1 MCL sprain. It was, the first thing that happened was this knee soreness. Then it became this. So they give him 6 games off this week, over the weekend against the Cardinals, and then against the Rays, the 4 games in Tampa Bay this week. And he's back in the lineup as a DH. I question a lot of his value as a hitter. I know that he has power and he can hit the ball to the gap and he can hit for power without needing his speed. With that being said, his legs are still a huge part of what makes him valuable. He has 28 stolen bases this year, so his legs, once he's on base, if he's not going to run, what are we doing? Michael Garcia, we saw what his value, his stolen base numbers are nowhere near what they've been for the last couple of years. So it's a long way of me saying I don't really trust that just because they say, Bobby Witt Jr. is back in the lineup, Bobby Witt Jr. And I don't want to be like an alarmist, and I don't want to manifest a bad thing happening to Bobby Witt Jr. I would just say I am extremely worried that something is going to happen that is going to be a setback. And if a setback happens with a knee injury, you're cooked for the rest of the season and potentially into the start of next year as well if something horrendous happens. And nobody wants to see that. But the fact of the matter is there has to be some level of cautiousness.
Yeah.
And he has already said earlier this afternoon, and the Royals have said he will be playing with a brace, even as the DH. So
not really what you want to hear.
But it just worries me.
I don't think you're being an alarmist at all, and I actually really like how you frame that, because you said that the Royals have kind of become the boy that's cried wolf on all these injuries, and then you brought the proof was in the pudding. You brought up multiple examples, and it really reminds me of the phrase "actions speak louder than words." Like you can say, take this head coaches maybe the same way you take politicians. They certainly are saying words. Are they truthful? That's maybe to be determined. But I like that you brought that up, that the Royals, they kind of said things are good, and then maybe we find out later that they're not so good. Like Cole Reagan's initially put on the 10-day IL. We don't really hear a lot of things. All of a sudden we see, Royals transaction. Cole Reagan's transferred to the 60-day injured list. You're like, whoa. That's 60 days, 2 months. Like, that means he's probably out for the year. Like, you don't go on the 60-day IL and frequently come back in the same season. Like, it's pretty significant injury, I would say. But it kind of reminds, something I've really noticed during this World Cup, kind of trying to bring is I've seen how the international media has interacted with the head coaches of these soccer teams. And here in the United States, it kind of has got me thinking about how we interact with our coaches and our executives that we get to interact with. Because basically here in the U.S., like, especially I would say here in Kansas City, maybe Andy Reid, Matt Quatrero, JJ Piccolo, Brett Veach, they come out and say something, and we just kind of say, they said this, and we don't like check them on it. We don't ask them like, hey, like, and I've seen like some of these managers for the soccer teams, they say something, and the reporter's like, whoa, they do like an instantaneous fact check and be like, yeah, you're saying that, but that is not the truth. And I kind of wanted to maybe bring that more into American sports media, because like sometimes they go, oh, like we don't expect this to be a big deal, and like we could just be like, well, we have a litany of examples of you saying that and that not being the case. So long way of saying, Gabe, I don't think you're being an alarmist. I think you're just saying what happened, and the facts are what the facts are. The Royals have said that some of these injuries, we expect it to be a minor thing, maybe take a couple days off and he's going to be good, and that was not the case. Now, maybe their medical staff wants to maybe take a more of a precautionary approach. They don't want to be aggressive with medication or with surgery or those things. That can be their own philosophy as team physicians, but it does seem to be, I think you are correct, that the Royals kind of undersell these injuries, and I think that's something that fans maybe should be looking into. And if Bobby's playing in a brace, that is something to monitor. He's playing in it tonight, according to Gabe, so we're going to be looking into that.
And last thing, if he is the DH,
Josh Rojas is playing shortstop. I couldn't believe that.
I'm not even worried about the defensive part of things, but I would just say that, like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is putting him on the field as a DH worth risking his health?
Well, here's
when you have all of these other guys, Salvador Perez, just other guys in the lineup who
could be DHs,
can be DHs, or frequently need to be the DH to avoid playing in the field too frequently.
Well, I think this is where the calculus goes. All right, we got 8 minutes. We have 2 more topics, but we're going to finish this one real quick. The calculus, I think, goes like this. We see the Royals record 34-48.
Yeah.
You want to know what JJ Piccolo? This is what he's looking at. The Royals are 5.5 games back out of the wild card. They're putting Bobby Witt Jr. in the lineup because they're 5.5 games out of a playoff spot, and they don't want to be sellers.
Yeah.
They don't want to trade Michael Wacha. They don't want to trade some of these guys that could be available via trade. Maybe a Chris Bubich, although he's a little banged up. He is a heck of a pitcher when he's healthy. So I know they're looking at Royals fans. We see a team that's 14 games below 500. We see a team that really struggles to score. We see a team that is horrible on the road. I guarantee you what the Royals know that, but what they really see is 5.5 games back.
Yes.
So, hey, the facts are what the facts are. The Royals are 5.5 games back. If they got to the postseason, would they be any good? No. All right, here we go. 2 more topics, 7 minutes, 24 hours later. The Netherlands fan walk came here through Kansas City. Gabe, don't want to spend too long on this because we have one more that we really had to get to, but for me, that was an unbelievable spectacle. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I was there on the ground last night or yesterday morning. We've seen updated numbers come out, 36,000 people there in downtown Kansas City. Gabe, I kind of want to phrase this question to you this way. A lot of people kind of were saying out there in the Kansas City world, the World Cup, they're blowing this out of the water. This isn't going to be that big. I think yesterday was a welcome to reality moment for them. What do you think?
Yeah. I have also seen a lot of people be like, oh, the only people I see drum up the worry and the anti-World Cup fun stuff is like the local news. And I
saw that.
That's
such BS. We have never. That is not what's happened at all.
No.
Like, people are inventing narratives in their head.
Yeah,
and people on social media are like, oh my gosh, the local media. And the local media has been supporting the World Cup from day one.
And there's a difference between getting the pom-poms out and saying everything's going to be awesome and saying there are going to be some parts of this that are really awesome, maybe more than not. And also, hey, there are problems and we should fix them. Take, for example, getting to Arrowhead during these matches. Problems arose, and it seems they have slowly gotten better as they've had more matches here in Kansas City. So I digress.
Trial
from that.
and error.
I will
Shocker.
say this. I'm sometimes can be described as a hater. I have poked a little bit of fun at the fact that the Netherlands, the song is like, oh, we're going left and we're going right. Seems a little simplistic to me. It is certainly a catchy tune. I can understand why people get caught up in the spirit of it. I do think that there's a lot of jabs thrown by European soccer fans towards American soccer fans, and just the basicness of the chants and the lack of chants during games. And I'll say I think I believe we will win chant is dumb. Like, of course we believe that we can win. We're cheering for our team. Like, okay. With all that said, it was an insane spectacle. The videos give you – I was not down there in downtown Kansas City. You were. Just watching the videos yesterday, it gives you, like, goosebumps.
Yeah.
And that's why we care about sports, all of these types of things. And I loved the clip that you got of the guy who the Dutch guy who was loving Kansas City and said, I'm a little scared of the weather. I don't want to recreate the accent. The accent was incredible. So it's special. We're going to look back on the summer of 2026, I think, extremely fondly for what it has given to Kansas City and what it has given to the United States and the Clips in Canada and Mexico as well. It's been great stuff. It was just a special day yesterday.
It was unbelievable. No, if you guys haven't gone to our sports director, Marlia Campbell, her Twitter page or her Instagram, I believe it's also on there. She got a ride on the Oranje fan bus yesterday for 5 minutes and it's honestly one of the most unbelievable videos I've ever seen because it's during the left-right dance, and you're seeing all 36,000 people do it. We had people commenting on our thing. They thought it was AI, like it didn't seem real, but it was. That was actually what happened. It was truly unbelievable. One thing I want to say about U.S. fans, I know we don't have a lot of time, cut out the European cosplay. Stop trying to be like European soccer fans. That's not who we are. We are Americans. We just do things differently. And I would love to see, when it's a big third down out of Arrowhead, and I was going, oh. If Americans did that for a whole game, I think the other team would fold. It would be a scary scene.
Yeah.
We do our own cheers. We cheer at our sporting events the way that we do. We don't need to be trying to copy, Manchester United has this chant. Liverpool does this. We need to make it our own. No. We're Americans. They follow us. We don't follow them.
Yeah.
We need to come up with our own chants. Stop doing the cosplay. Give them the big third down chant. That's what I say.
Yeah,
Scream at them.
I agree.
Make them feel you like it's an SEC game. They don't understand the stakes that we play at. All right, one last topic. We have a little less than 3 minutes, but yesterday the U.S. men's national team played their final group stage match, taking on Turkey. USA losing that one 3-2 very late in the game. Now, USA, they had already won the group. They did not need to win the game. They had punched their ticket to the round of 32. But Gabe, quickly here, maybe 60 seconds or less, is this a cause for concern for the U.S. men's national team?
No, and I will cite the
head
coach Mauricio Pochettino, who last night was not happy that speaking of relationship between media and
I love that.
Yeah,
the foreign head coach. He's our head coach, but he's from Argentina.
Yes, but he's from Argentina. He was asked about being disappointed about not getting all 9 points, which we've never done before, so I don't know why we would expect to do it. But he was like, are you going to congratulate us on winning the group? We won the group. That was the goal. It was executed. And then he was asked about something else, and he said, I think you're thinking too small. We're trying to win the whole thing. And that's the American mentality I love. So I shout out Poach. Great stuff.
I mean, I know he's born in Argentina, but boy, if he wins this World Cup, I think there might be a move to get this guy to be the president of the United States, because the way that he's brought together such a diverse group of players on the team, but also re-energized the United States fan base. Because, Gabe, I was thinking about this like 2 years ago. I mean, U.S. men's national team, like they played here in Kansas City, or maybe it was a year ago. They did not look good. The vibes were not high. Like, I was looking at this team, I was like, boy, like, we're automatically in the World Cup because we're hosts, but boy, we're just going to lay an egg because we are so bad. And like, we had players on the field like we didn't get out of the group stage in the Gold Cup. Like, that's how bad the United States was. So shout out to Pochettino for kind of turning this things around. There's a report out there that the U.S. Soccer is talking to his representation about maybe trying to extend his contract because he's set up here with the U.S. men's national team through the end of this World Cup. I think that would be a home run hire, and obviously I think it would kind of give him an opportunity to kind of recreate the game of soccer here in the U.S., build up the developmental systems the way maybe he sees it, maybe the way they did it in Argentina. They produce pretty good players. We don't produce good players here in the United States. The best players on our team did not come from our system, and that is something that needs to change. But Pochettino, he's a man with a plan and a man with a vision, and it is working to perfection. But that's what we get KC Sports Tonight here on this Friday, June the 26th. Once again, guys, stick with us tomorrow as we get ready for the final group stage match here in Kansas City. Until we meet again, make it a good one, everybody.